All right, degenerates. Star Kuiper Jr. back for week 3 in the lot. 3-2 last week brings me to a season-long total of 7-3. So moving on, we're going to start with the anti-game of the week. It's Star at Mama. Mama's getting 3 in this game. For Star, he's going to buck a trend, and since the running back by committee is destroying fantasy football as we know it, Star has opted to embrace the evil and sacrifice a position to start 2 players from the same backfield. The rationale there is better to get 100% of the production from one backfield than 40% of the production from 2 different backfields. So we'll see if that works out. Those of you with timeshares, take note. Oh, wait a minute, that's right. I'm the only one who's got timeshares, so whatever. Moving over to Mama's side, Cincinnati players for him are going to find tough sledding against a good Denver defense. Don't look for much from Jeremy Hill or A.J. Green. Chicago is a dumpster fire officially, so Langford's going to struggle in that game against Dallas as well. So all that being said, for a change, I think Star's got the better matchups this week. We'll see if his players actually show up and do anything about it. I've got Star to win and cover, but probably not. Ben at Kitty. Kitty getting 4. For Ben, I love Rivers this week in what should be a high-scoring affair with Indy. Dallas should destroy Chicago, so Elliott and Bailey are both going to be nice plays for Ben. I'm not sold on Blunt, but I understand the reasoning. With the rookie quarterback under center, they're probably going to run the ball a ton. Still a good Texans defense, and he's going to be splitting carries with the 18 running backs they always have in New England. So we'll see how that works out. For Kitty, Wilson is still not healthy. That offense is still a travesty. Don't know who's going to get the ball and how they're going to score any points. I do like Ingram. He's always tough playing against Atlanta, so that's a good play this week. And T.Y. Hilton should thrive. With Moncrief being out, Hilton will see an increase in targets. And again, I think that's going to be somewhat of a track meet between San Diego and Indianapolis. Bottom line is there's more talent on Ben's side of the ball, so I like Ben to win and cover. Moving on, we've got Outlaw at Hooley. Outlaw's getting 2 in this matchup. Ryan for Outlaw should have a decent day, keeping up with Drew Brees in what should be a pretty entertaining affair on Monday night. I like Floyd in Arizona as well as David Johnson against Buffalo. Buffalo made Ryan Fitzpatrick look like the second coming of Dan Marino last week, so look for their air attack to get going there in Arizona. On Hooley's side of the ball, we like Breeze at home. Is there any question why? I mean, he's just money at home. For Willie Snead, see Drew Brees. I don't like Beckham this week. The Washington corners are good, and I don't know, they've got other options there in New York that they're throwing the ball to. He's just not the guy he was a couple of years ago. I don't like Ware either. I mean, it's a tough Jets front 7, and I think that they're going to make that tough on Ware to get much going. It could be a trap game for Hooley. We want to look at the records and say, oh, Hooley's 2-0 and Outlaw's 0-2, but it definitely could be a trap game. But my gut tells me Outlaw's a disaster. By the way, Outlaw, when you want a running back who actually plays to grace your lineup, come see me. I might have 17 timeshares, but at least my guys see the field. So Hooligan wins and covers in this one. Fuff at Shark. Fuff's getting 3. I'm worried about Eli Manning for Fuff in this one. He doesn't have a great track record against Washington. As I've said before, the corners are good in Washington, a pretty decent defense. So limit your expectation for Eli's production in this game. Latavius Murray is turning out to be somewhat of a timeshare in Oakland. I know that he's still the feature guy, but he's losing a lot of touches to those other guys in certain situations. Frank Gore is 97 years old, so I don't like him much in the Indianapolis running game. Julio Jones should do some damage on Monday night in what should be Atlanta trying to keep up with New Orleans. And Sims will get all the work with Doug Martin being out against the Rams. The problem being that, the Rams aren't going to score in that game. So when Tampa's up 3-0, he'll probably just run the clock out. So his stat line will look something like 25 carries for 29 yards and no touchdowns. So we'll see how that works out for Fuff. For Shark, I like Fitz and Palmer. I could get open against that Buffalo secondary, so look for them to do pretty well. I like D'Angelo in his last start of 2016 before he gives way to the pot smoker. Cooks should be money on Monday night for New Orleans. And, I think the most exciting thing about this is Chris Brown has the potential to beat down a cheerleader for distracting him while missing an extra point. So look for that. That could be exciting. In this game, I've got Shark to win and cover. The game of the week, kind of. I've got Scoresman at Stinker. Scoresman's getting 4. I've labeled this the pretender versus the contender. How is Scoresman 2-0, you ask? Well, he played Mama and Outlaw. If only he had been able to schedule Star for week 3, he could have had a nice 3-0 start. So Rodgers should be solid for Vinny. I don't like the running backs. They've got tough matchups this week. And who's going to get Jeffrey the ball now that Cutler's out with the sprained vagina or whatever he's got this time? For Stinker's side, I love everybody in that lineup this week with the exception of Emmanuel Sanders. Cincinnati does have a decent secondary, so I would expect that the Denver passing game won't be much of a factor. But everybody else in that matchup, especially the Pittsburgh guys against Philadelphia, should do a good job. This probably isn't going to be much of a game. I like Stinker to win and cover. So that's all we've got, folks. Hope you enjoy week 3. See you later.